Welcome to the MTGP episodes. I'm your host, Gui. And today we're talking with a young, exciting fighter, Liam McGrandles, about his upcoming fight with Changpuak Jetsada for the Muay Thai Grand Prix World title. We had a really fun chat talking about the path that led him into Muay Thai, his personal and social life, his confidence, and how he feels the fight will play out on March 7th. We're also sponsored by Mindful News, online courses for fighters on how to deal with nerves, performance anxiety, but more importantly, how to increase performance in the ring and enjoy the process. All right, so first of all, congratulations, right? You've now on an incredible opportunity on March the 7th to get the MTGP world title. And it must be really satisfying, you know, all the years of hard work and your previous fights leading up to this moment. And just going into this next fight, what kind of emotions are you feeling? And, you know, when you're thinking of the fight, March 7th, you know, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, it feels unreal. Like, as you said, it is literally like everything I've worked for. This is kind of like what you imagine. Do you know what I mean? It's a collection of like fighting a Thai for his world title in my home city. Do you know what I mean? Like, add all them together, and that's massive for any fight to be able to do. Do you know what I mean?
And would you agree that this possibly ranks amongst, you know, one of the toughest challenges and one of the, you know, the biggest one under the spotlight for you?
Yeah, I'd definitely say so. Yeah, and as well, just because of like who it is, Changpuak is a great fighter. I've not fought for a world title before, so that makes it the biggest fight I've ever had. And then on the promotion, Muay Thai Grand Prix as well. It's a huge platform to put good performance on.
So does that add any more pressure, given that it is for a world title? And like I said, this is going to be on the UFC Fight Pass as well. It's going to get a lot of eyes. Obviously, the better you do, the better your opponents, and I guess the bigger the pressure, right?
Yeah, I do actually. I quite enjoy the pressure. I quite enjoy it because I think, as you said, like the bigger the scale, the more pressure that's kind of there. It's there's more to gain from it, as you said. So because there'll be more people watching, more people interested in how the result goes, it adds to it. It gives motivation, and it just makes you just want to win. And not only that, but put a statement out there as well.
And does it add anything more? Does it make it more special that it's, you know, someone fighting from the motherland, right? It's someone fighting from Thailand. I know you fought and you've won and you've beaten a Thai before, but you know, does that add another element to it?
Yeah, 100%. By the end of my career, I wanted to have fought like as many Thais as I can. Do you know what I mean? Many of the top level Thais as possible. It was like when we originally got the offer through for this fight, it felt unreal, and that was just getting the offer through. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to be able to do this, yeah, it's great.
Well, I was actually at his last fight in Manchester.
Yeah.
And I know you have a lot of interest in fighting Jack Kennedy. You know, he won the world title against Jack. You know, did you watch that fight? Were you?
Yeah. I didn't watch it live, but I've watched it on YouTube since. I have seen it. Yeah.
So watching that, what did that inspire in you? Did that make you, you know, give you any insight on how, you know, perhaps strategy and game plan, any confidence? You know, what did that make you feel?
That, to be fair, as soon as that fight had happened, and because obviously I've wanted to fight Jack for ages, but it hasn't happened for like whatever reason. But as soon as that fight happened, after him beating Jack, that like instantly made me want to fight Changpuak. Because then, if I can beat him, then it shows that me versus Jack should have happened by now, and that potentially that I'm a level above anyway. Do you know what I mean? If I can get a convincing win against Changpuak.
Because Jack was someone you've been wanting to fight for a while. You're fighting Jetsada next month, and the fact that they both fought each other.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think we've been watching that, and we've watched it. I've watched it a couple of times, and I think if Changpuak fights that style against me, like I know I'll win 100%. There'll be a point. I'm predicting he'll start with a similar style he fought that fight in, and at some point he's going to have to change things because I'll definitely be going ahead if he's sitting back and trying to like score points. I know I'll beat him at that game, so he'll have to change something.
Now, this self-confidence and this self-belief, you know, have you always had it, or is it something that you've had to develop and learn?
I think it just comes from I'm confident in my own ability. Like I train a lot consistently throughout the whole year, not just when fights are coming up. I think that's very important. And I'm always just, I don't know what it is. I can't help but always train. And whoever it is, I'll watch them, and I just can't help but I instantly think I'm going to beat them. Yeah. I don't know what it is.
Right. If you had to describe how you first got into Muay Thai and your journey there, why was that path created for you, and why specifically Muay Thai?
It kind of just like all escalated out of nowhere, to be fair. Like they were doing like at the gym I still train at now. They were doing like a free trial session or something, and about like 8 of my mates all from school were going. Mm-hmm. And just because they were going, like I went for something to do to try it out, and obviously like loved it. And then I think after about a month, had my first interclub then, and then I remember my coach saying to me like, "Oh, did you enjoy it?" And I was like, "Yeah, obviously." And then he was saying, "Oh, like a month or two more, and you'll be able to fight." And then that was my first fight, and then literally every other month then I was fighting, and then before you know it, I'm fighting like pro rules. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And you say you're 14 years old at that time.
I started at 14. Yeah. 14. I started.
And successfully?
Yeah, my first ever junior fight. I won. I won my first junior fight, and my second junior fight I lost, and then that was the only one. Then I lost at junior. Mm-hmm. My second fight. After that, then I think I won. I had 20 junior fights altogether. So then after my second one, I won the next 18. So I think that definitely spurred me on to get better and keep fighting.
But what was it about your upbringing and about you that helped translate, in the ring?
I think fighting wise, I'm not sure at all, to be fair. All I can say is I've always been a lot into sports. Mm-hmm. So from young, I've always been like quite like confident runner. Like I was doing like cross country and stuff at primary school. Right. Running, always playing football. Do you know what I mean? So I think athletic wise, I've always been quite good. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think in that way it crossed over fairly well. But fighting, yeah, not a clue. Not a clue how that come about.
And you're from Birmingham, right?
Yeah.
So what's your team?
Football.
Yeah.
Aston Villa.
Aston Villa. Okay,
not that I'm not the biggest of fans. I don't go for big, but I do.
Yeah. I hear that. So when I speak to people about upcoming fights, we talk about game plan, and I get half that say there is no game plan. It's just whatever I feel that's right on the moment. On other people, they're quite detailed as to what they've trained specifically for this. So can you just share a bit, if there is a game plan, what was your thinking going into this fight?
I think me and my coach we usually do, it's not necessarily like a rigid game plan. What we have, it's almost quite like more of like a collection of different ideas that we think might work.
Yeah.
And then, so I've got a few different ideas, so you don't have to just stick to one and be like rigid with that. And because obviously things change when you're in there. Mm-hmm. So then if you just plan for one thing and then if things change, do you know what I mean? Anything can happen.
Yeah.
You're stuck then. So I think we have like a few different shots that we definitely think will work. A few like the tempo I'm going to be fighting at, when to go through the gears, things to watch out for that he's going to be good at, things he's going to be comfortable with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And more just build up ideas with that, and then you can chop and change as you go along in the fight. Do you know what I mean? And just get in there, have a look, and then just go from there.
Yeah. And if you had to rate your mental strength on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate that? And before you answer, let's just say, for example, end of round 1, you come back with a massive cut over your eye and blood's coming down, and you're thinking, oh wow, this guy's way more powerful than I thought. What is your, how do you deal in those situations?
I've never been cut. Well, I've been cut once, and I'd say in the last round of a fight before. Mm-hmm. Just from that example you said, I've been cut once, and I'd say I reacted to it in the manner that you'd want to react to it, is in the sense of like I was losing that fight, and I got cut, and then like I just went like war mode and tried as best I could to not get the knockout. Do you know what I mean? I know I was behind, I was cut, I was tired. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I went for it as best I can. On that occasion, I didn't get the win, didn't pay off. But I think mental strength wise, I think that proved a lot to me. That like I've got a strong mind and that I can just dig deep and fight when I need to.
Yeah. And would you say that we spoke earlier on about how many times you had a 5-rounders. Do you feel that you thrive a bit more when you come to the championship rounds, or is it something that you dread in a way?
I know 100% thrive on that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was speaking to my coach just today about the fight, and it's definitely a good thing that it's a 5-rounder. 100%. Yeah. So like, I'll back my fitness all day long, my gas tank all day long. So
Really?
yeah. So if in that round 4 and 5, like I know I can up the pace even more. Do you know what I mean? And keep going.
So if someone's never met you before and they're coming down on the 7th term to watch you, how would you describe yourself socially and personally? And second part, how would you describe yourself as a fighter?
I'd say if I was to describe myself, I don't know. I'd say quite just like a normal 22-year-old. Like we spoke earlier, I like going out with mates a lot. Like which is annoying when I've got a fight coming up. Can't go on any mad nights out. And then other than that, yeah, I'd like to think I was quite friendly. Do you know what I mean? I'll be friendly with anyone. I'll talk to them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then fighting wise, just very, very motivated to get the win, and really do what's necessary to push the fight as best I can to win.
A lot of people that have turned into Muay Thai have said it was because of some bullying that they suffered, or because of some fear and some nerves. Just trying to be a normal human being is quite challenging, right? There's a lot of fear, and martial arts and Muay Thai has helped. Do you think that's like, you said you're very friendly now and that's your character. Did martial arts play a role in, the kind of gentleman that you are today?
I think it more, I'd say doing something like this and fighting, I'd say it more just like you don't have it stops you having anything to prove to people, do you know what I mean? So you don't need to be carrying around an ego with you. You don't need to be, when you're going out, trying to show your hard and starting fights on people, do you know what I mean? You just can be yourself and not like care what people are thinking, do you know what I mean? I think it just makes things easier.
Yeah, 100%. How would you best describe your fighting style?
I'd say I am a counter fighter. I love, my favourite things are kicking. My left kick's definitely 100% my best shot. Counter fighter, but then also like adapting. So I said before, with the game plan, a lot of it is having ideas and then getting in there and just seeing where it takes me. So I like having a look at them, and I'm confident in how I can adapt and then find the gaps as I go on.
But how detailed are your game plans? It could be, you just want to be sitting back on the counter, or, some people say, there is, as obviously, I'm going to go for the front leg all the time. I'm going to try and take out his leg, or, in the way that you beat Andrew Miller, at the end, like, he just couldn't go on. The leg had buckled over, the constant bombardment. And and then when you gave him that final blow, he literally couldn't put any weight on it. Was that, do you think that detailed as far as game plan is concerned? It's like, this is going to be my specific plan A, and then we can move to plan B and plan C.
I'd say not as specific as that, but say for that Andy Miller fight, for example, attacking the legs and hurting his legs was like one of the ideas that we thought would work. So, and that paid off, do you know what I mean? So, I think the ideas that we've got for this fight, they could 100% like work as well.
Yeah.
We have spoke about, there's a couple of specific shots we've been practicing as well.
Right.
And it wouldn't surprise me if I get the stoppage of them, do you know what I mean? I've been drilling them a lot, work on the timing, and I think it could come off. Yeah. But we'll leave that to the night.
And from a victory standpoint, how satisfying is the stoppage versus a decision?
Oh yeah, a lot more. Just because you want to, obviously, the win's the priority, but then you want to get a statement out there as well. So if you can get the knockout as well, it shows that not only were you better than them, like you almost like the level above them in that fight. Do you know what I mean? That you could not only just beat them, like you've hurt them. Do you know what I mean? You've hurt them, you battered them, you got the stoppage.
How would you say your fight style has evolved over the last 5 years?
I'd say the biggest one is originally, as I said, I'm a counter fighter. I used to be a counter fighter a lot on the back foot, but then I found as I was moving up in level, fighting better opposition and more like dangerous opposition, harder hitters, it doesn't work as well. Do you know what I mean? You're very open to certain things. So now I've almost turned it around and become a counter fighter on the front foot, which I think can be pretty awkward to deal with.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
So I'm almost like a counter fighter on the front foot that's almost like looking to clinch and stuff as well. That's another big thing. So I'm looking to like evade, counter, grab in the clinch, lock on, tie people out, lob them over. Do you know what I mean? Rather than being on the back foot and always just trying to evade.
Yeah. And if other fighters were to describe your style, would they say the same thing?
Do you mean like people that are fought or people from my...
Yeah, so peers in the industry, if they were looking at your style, would they agree with you? You know, how would they, do you think they would describe you?
Yeah, I definitely think they'd see him as like a counter fighter.
Counterpunch, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
definitely a counter fighter, yeah, I'd say.
All right, well, socially, you know, your best mates, you know, how would they describe you in a couple of words?
It's hard to say.
Just think of you like your top 3-4 mates right now. If I asked them right now, you know, how would they describe Liam? What would they say?
Could I say like has it in him to do some stupid stuff on nights out? I'd probably go for that one.
Yeah.
On some of the holidays, there's been some ridiculous things going on, but no, it's all good fun, isn't it?
Yeah. But did that come from your sense of adventure and confidence combined, perhaps?
Yeah, I'd say maybe that and too many beers involved as well.
So what do you do to relax and to chill?
I like I don't know, but like watching TV, watching films. Do you know what I mean? Anything that
Netflix and stuff like that.
Yeah, when I'm not got a fight coming up, I like going out for nice food. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go for nice food, just enjoying stuff that you can't usually when you've got a fight coming up. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, give me a couple of series and movies you watched recently.
Movies. My two favorite films I like to watch, just like stupid films. I'd say Cool Runnings. Cool
Sanka,
Runnings.
Dead Man. Yeah.
Can't beat that. Cool Runnings and Four Lions. I don't know if you've seen that one. Yeah. Them two.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. What kind of, you know, a lot of fighters like to say like a few words to their opponent beforehand. You know, something, you know, kind of controversial or aggressive. But you don't seem like that kind of guy. You seem very friendly and down to earth. But you know, if there was a message you would like to say to Jetsada, what would that message be? I'd
say that let's make it an entertaining fight. Do you know what I mean? In his fight versus Kennedy, he was sitting on the ropes a lot. So I'd say to him, let's both stand in the middle of the ring and fight. Let's fight properly. Make it an entertaining one.
You know, let's look past this next fight. I know you've kind of interviewed, you've spoken about your goals, but now that you've had time to reflect about it, what are your goals for 2020? First of all, and then, you know, what are your goals for the next 5 years?
I'd say my goals for 2020 is I'd like to become UK number one. UK number one, and I want to get signed to one championship. That's my two big goals. And I think fighting on a promotion like this Muay Thai Grand Prix is only going to get my name out there more and boost my chances of both those things happening.
Yeah. And why do you think one championship has been so successful? And what is the appeal? Because it's only an organisation that's like 2-3 years deep. You know.
Yeah.
What is the appeal?
I think the general excitement that they had to it. Do you know what I mean? With the rounds, most fight being 3 rounds instead of 5 to stop that slower pace at the start. And obviously the 4-ounce gloves, they're always going to make things more exciting.
That interests you, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if we had to call out someone for, you know, let's following this next fight in the immediate future, you mentioned a few names before. Who would you be interested in a potential next fight?
I'd love after this a fight with Charlie Peters, definitely. Yeah. Another person on the Muay Thai Grand Prix promotion. He's been on there a lot and also used to hold the title that I'm going for.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we could do my first defence.
Yeah.
Possibly against him, that'd be great.
Yeah, lovely guy, Charlie. Good mate of mine. So
be good to do that fight. It'd be good.
All right. Well, all I can say is best of luck, mate. Really excited for this fight coming up, and yeah, honestly and truly, thank you so much for doing this, and I wish you all the best. You mentioned a couple of shout outs, so you know, any final words, shout outs, feel free to go ahead.
Just a big one at the moment. Big shout out to Gordon King at Big House Production, who's helping me in June have my first fight in Thailand. So yeah, big thanks to him.
Which is one of your dreams, right? To go, what is it, Lumpini?
Yeah.
Yes. Been there before, so...
Yeah, so it'll be wicked if I can get to fight there as well.
All right then, mate. Well, all the best, following through with some of your dreams, and also all the best with your upcoming fight with Jetsada on the 7th.
Thank you.
Muay Thai Grand Prix 34. Looking forward to it. So again, thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.